Well, here we go with the upgrades on the Harbor Freight pedestal stand. This is a follow-up to the previous review video, and this is just kind of a down and dirty adjustment. Make this thing a lot more solid. So here I'm just leveling the base on my workbench, just to kind of get an idea where my post needs to be, and just using just a standard post leveling level to make sure that I get everything fairly perpendicular to the base. And here I'm just marking locations for the bolt holes. I'm going to drill oversized holes through the base, through the pipe, and weld nuts on the inside just to give the bolts something to tie everything together securely. And I know it's a lot of extra work, but I took this as a challenge to see if I could dial this thing in and get it to be a better product overall than it currently is. And here, yeah, just marking centers for the drill bit. I just went by the marks on the powder coat after I snugged the bolts down. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be close. There we go. Drill bit slipping a little bit. And drilling the holes that are final size. I don't even know what these were offhand. Again, just bigger than the M10 bolts, I believe. They're M10 1.5 thread pitch. Oh, this was the final size. If I had a step drill that was actually sharp, I probably would have used that instead of sitting here struggling with these drill bits, or put it in the actual drill press. Why not? It's more fun to get the drill bit stuck all the time. Alright, and getting in there, cleaning off all the powder coat for welding. Give it a nice clean surface to weld to. Not so much cleaning the powder coat off the outside as much as knocking down the sharp edges and burrs from drilling. And as you see here, I had to pick up some longer bolts. The original ones were long enough to secure the post, but not long enough to go through and actually thread fully into the nuts that I'm welding in. So here I'm just gonna kind of snug everything down and line the post up, get it again perpendicular to the base. And these were a little long, but it doesn't really matter. I have plenty of room to weld, and the extra length doesn't cause any issues. So then I'll get the base back where I had it leveled out, and then throw the post leveler back on it. All right, there you go. All right, and I gingerly carried it over to the welding table, not to knock anything out of whack. And then just tack weld the nuts in. And I did use some spatter spray, some what you call it, the anti-spatter spray. Keep the spatter off the threads, otherwise they tend to tear things up when you take them out. A little extra for good measure. And using I picked up an Art Captain, the MiG 205, 200, whatever it is, or the MP 200. I think I got it for about 180. I'll have to double check the price on that, but it's solid so far, because I had the titanium 125 you can see in the background there from Harbor Freight, and that's a solid flux core. But flux core leaves a lot of residue. See, this is a lot cleaner. Hardly any slag, hardly any, not a lot of spatter. So a lot less cleanup. The flux core would be a lot of cleanup. So here I'm just getting the basin holder on. Kind of line things up. Figure out where I need to drill the next hole. And of course I eyeballed this, so I thought I had it lined up pretty good with the base, but it's off a little bit. Aesthetically it makes a difference, but realistically there's no issue. Again, drill this hole out and prep it for welding the nut on the inside for this. Because without it, the basin tray, as you saw in the previous video, it rocks back and forth, and you really have to crank it down and crush the tube, and it just, again, not a great setup because there's so much play in it. Probably should have moved the holder down a little farther from the top of the pedestal, because the basin almost didn't fit in when I put it together. It was a little close. I had to bend it down a touch, but it worked out. Oh, you know what? I take that back. The MiG 200 was not $180. It was $350, $340, something like that. Yeah, it was the plasma cutter, the Cut 50 that I picked up, was about 180. Yeah, the MIG MP205 or MP200 was yeah, like 350. And here I'm just knocking off the powder coat paint. It looks like powder coat. I couldn't really tell the difference. I'm assuming it was. And then drilling this out. I don't need the threads in there, so I can really crank down and get this thing solid. There you go. Yeah. All right, and the top base only had one hole in it to secure it, so I had to drill 3 more. This I just picked up some 1/4 bolts. So I used the M10 that came with it, with the well, the M10 hole threaded, and then the longer bolts that I picked up for the base. And then these were just 1/4 holes. I drilled out, I think 5/16 maybe. 5/16, yeah. I just drilled them out large so the threaded bolts would slip right through. And this here, doing the same process, drilling them out, making clearance holes for the bolts, and then I had no way to weld the nuts to the inside. So I took the top plate to the drill press and just drilled a bunch of holes. Seeing as I didn't want to mangle this with a cutting wheel. And I didn't need a lot of clearance, and this just provided me just enough. I have plenty of room to get in there and weld. So this way I can tighten everything down, get everything lined up and plumb, perpendicular, level, whatever you want to call it. And then weld the nuts in place and put everything back together. Couple whacks with the ball peen, with my miniature ball peen. Don't ask me why I had this one out, but it worked. Just knocking off some of the sharp edges, pieces left from drilling the holes out. There it is, got the top on, leveled, and just marking the hole locations for clearance holes. Not quite sure what I was planning on doing there. I think I was going to use my punch, my center punch, to mark the holes, because that was that part of the pedestal had an extra thick collar on it. I didn't think I'd have enough room to get the marker in there, but it worked. And that's what the hole was for. Be able to get in there and spin these nuts on and get the top of it leveled out perfectly. Snug them down and then bring it over to the welding table. Little anti-spatter spray. There you go. A little more, a little more. A little more stick out there so I can reach in, get it right where I need it. And again, just throwing 2 solid tacks, 2 or 3 of them, as much of the nut as I can reach. It's not going to be under a lot of stress. I don't think vibration will be too much of an issue and cause any problems there. And if it is, I'll fix it. Well, there we go. It's gonna wipe it down with a little bit of acetone. Clean off any grease, oil, soot, anything left over. Grinding dust. Then a little bit of rattle can touch up. And just fast forward the assembly here. Everything's ready to go. Nuts are welded in place, so this is just putting everything back together and tightening everything down. And this is pretty solid. Pretty solid. I'm happy with it. This is definitely something that's going to hold up. We'll have a little recap at the end here. So before we get there, just real quick, let me know how you like this format. If you want the play-by-play at all, if you like the voiceover, if you want a little bit of background music, then I will keep the volumes way down if we go that route. But let me know what format you like, and we'll stick with it. Well, there you have it. A couple dollars in parts, a couple 2-3 hours of welding and prep, and we have a much better, don't mind the rattle, that's the basin here, much more solid option with this Harbor Freight pedestal stand. And again, now this is much better than what I started with. I'm happy with it, and I will be putting my bench grinder / belt grinder on top of this. I probably will have to secure it to the floor, I'm guessing. It's got a fair amount of weight to it. It's not, I don't think it's too top heavy once the grinder gets on it. But again, I'm not opposed to throwing 3 concrete anchors in here, some tap cons or something, and bolting it down. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for future content. I will have more videos coming, and stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.